the cool thing about this, because my background is as an athlete. All right. So as an athlete, I've always had coaches. All right. Now, the coaches may not have been as athletically gifted as I was, but they knew something that I didn't. They had a perspective on the game that I didn't. And they could see things about how I played the game that I couldn't see in myself. So I always valued my coaches and the perspective. I've been fortunate to have really good coaches in my life that gave me great feedback and then knew how to communicate things to me and allow me to just kind of speed up the kind of progress that I would see. All right. And now when I translate this to business, I knew that if I wanted to make progress, I needed to have a coach. All right. I was just telling the story when I first started as a personal trainer, not even online, just as a personal trainer. I was experiencing very little success, right? I was trying to figure it out on my own. I was doing these things. I was working, trying to figure out how to like get more referrals from my clients. And then I met a guy. At this time, I was in New York. And then I met a guy who was making like $300,000 a year as a personal trainer. All right, I found him. I was doing some job search. And I found him on Facebook, and I reached out to him. And then we ended up meeting for some coffee. And he was telling me that he was doing like $300,000 a year as a personal trainer, in-person trainer. I was like, no way. Show me. All right. And he showed me his book of business. And I was like, dude, how can I come work for you? My first thing, I was like, dude, I want to come work for you. How can I come work for you? Do you have any openings? I don't even care. I'll work for you for free. Let me just come watch, observe how you're doing what you're doing. Next day, I was living with my brother at the time. I moved from New York to deep into New Jersey to live and work for this guy. And my brother thought I was crazy. But this guy knew something that I didn't. He wasn't smarter than me. He wasn't a harder worker than me. He wasn't even better looking than me, to be honest. But he knew something that I didn't. I was like, I have to learn what he knows that I don't know because it's producing better results for him. And when I moved in with the guy and started working for him, I observed him work. He ran his in-person business like a well-oiled machine. It was a work of art. I was fascinated by how he did it. And I was just asking questions about his business model and how he trained his clients and transitioned them from one workout to the next. He was all about being as efficient as possible to the point where he even figured out how to get his own clients to warm themselves up for 15 minutes and cool themselves down for 15 minutes. So his actual training sessions with them was 30 minutes. And it was just like, man, it was like a conveyor belt. It was a work of art. And watching him do this, I started to adopt the same model. And within 3 months of working for the guy, I was doing 100 sessions per week personally. Now, I had been a trainer since like 2012, and I'd never, ever gotten to the point where I was able to do this. And this was 2017 at this time. So trying to figure out on my own, 5 years, never gotten this kind of breakthrough. I started working with this guy, working for him for 3 months, start implementing what I saw him do. And in 3 months, I was doing more personal training sessions per week than I was doing more personal training sessions in a month than I ever did in a year.